All right. I know it's been a while, but I figured I'd yap for a little bit. I've been thinking about some things and showing you some middest of the mid Fortnite gameplay, but it'll be something. I don't know if you prefer just a normal camera looking at my room. I don't. I feel like this is something, but what I do want to talk about is essentially they have lives too. And people will come into your life, people will come out of your life. And this is kind of how things are. Um, it's nice to think, oh, I've met this really great person. I wish they were here, with me till the end. And that's not always possible. I think we understand, or we tell ourselves that we, like, oh, we're new to this, we don't know what we're doing, so, like, give us some grace. But we don't extend that to other people as much as we should. Or maybe you do. Maybe you're, perfect, and I'm the one that has things wrong here. But I think you kind of need that level of grace. It's kind of a, like, not a way of protecting yourself, but you won't always have an opportunity for closure. You won't always have, uncertainty is very much intertwined with life, right? It's a big part. So you're not always gonna have an answer. And I think stepping back and being like, well, this is the decision that they made based on their knowledge, and you made your decision based on your knowledge, and it worked out the way it worked out. You could say for better or for worse, but I also think that doesn't really help anybody, because you're stuck on, oh, well, it could have been better, but it could have also been worse. So I think it's just, you're better off, ridding that mindset entirely. The other thing, what? Okay, this is a little. Okay, that was a little rough, but we got him. The point I'm trying to make is that things happen, and the more you kind of attach yourself and think that, how could they ever do this? How could, like, knowing me, why would they do this to me? Why would they leave? You're not helping yourself. It all kind of contributes. It all, like, works. I don't think this makes sense. What I'm trying to say is that, things happen for a reason, and you can't get stuck on what could have happened, or what should have happened, what could have happened. All you need to know is that it did happen, and it's not really, oh, this is pretty cool. Watch this move. I hit the grapple, spin around, look up. I mean, we could work on the smoothness, but I mean, it's kind of there. I'm not the next pro, but we're trying to improve here. But it's not. I don't even remember what I was saying. But it's like, don't get stuck on those things. Oh, this is hard to watch. I tried to do something here, but it didn't work. But basically, it's their life. Don't get so hung up on what they do, right? Because, ultimately, it is you. It is your life, right? So they have one too, but yours is, I don't want to say more important, but you should focus more on your life than theirs. Right. So trying to come up with all these reasons of why, why things happen the way they did doesn't really help you. And bang, 90. It's like, it doesn't help. I think that's kind of the biggest thing here. And I would say the best way to handle this is just to forgive. I think it's about like understanding. That's all you kind of can do. Things happened the way they did, and you don't hold any grudges towards person or people, because that's just life, and you're not worried about. I mean, it happened in the past, right? So it doesn't exist to you anymore. I think it's kind of an important takeaway as well. If you're concerned about that, you're stuck in a different place. You'll never move. That was a good shot. I mean, I'm proud of that shot, but I needed to not. I have issues with this Lisa later in the game. How much of the game do we have left? I think that's pretty much everything I want to say. I think that's kind of all my points. It's kind of incoherent and rambly, but hopefully it made sense. And what I'll say is kind of a disclaimer. I know it usually goes before. Oh, don't look at this. The kind of this unsolicited internet advice you'll get. It might hit you in a certain way. It might not. It might be the sign, to just forgive everybody and kind of let things go and learn to let things go. Oh, okay. Or maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't think. But what I do think is true is that it can help the majority of people. I think whether something, just recently happened. Look at this guy. Boom. Things happen, and to kind of hold a grudge and try to seek understanding, like, it's very human. But it's bang. This is such a trash fight for me, but it's very human, and I think sometimes you gotta ditch that. For some reason, you gotta ditch that. And it comes from a kind of outside understanding that this doesn't really help me. So they're living their life. I'm going to let them live their life. And would it be cool to have things converge and, they come back into your life? Yeah, it would be. But it's almost like I don't want to burn bridges, but it would kind of be hard to reconcile that, depending on what happened. But that's pretty much it. We don't really need to see this part. I'll just leave. Yeah, alright, cool. I'll just leave. I'll leave it at that. You guys have a great night, wherever you are. Hope it made sense to somebody.